Hi-oh YouTube! My name is Dexter and welcome to this Friday special edition of Dauntless, where I would very much like to talk about a couple problems that I have with it. I've been playing it all week, since it came out, rather, which has only been 9 days, but I've been playing it for those 9 days, and I gotta say, this is a fantastic first attempt at replicating Monster Hunter. It is phenomenal. There are some things I would like to see changed. I'd also like to make a retraction to a statement that I made last week, which is I thought the monster variety was going to be unique skeletons the entire way through, unique bodies and skeletons and moves the whole way through. I was incorrect. A lot of monsters are basically just, hey, it's a different coat of paint with a different head on it, but the same body and the same general moveset. So, kind of a problem. Or, it's not a problem. It's just, if you know what one body looks like, you know what it does, and if something else uses that same body, you have a rough idea of what you're getting yourself into. It's pretty straightforward, but I kind of wish that all the monsters had their own unique skeletons. It's nothing major. Monster Hunter does that too, so it's not anything really game-breaking. It's just kind of, I wish it were its own. I wish all the enemies were their own entity, but whatever. Like I said, Monster Hunter does it too. There's a ton of subspecies, a ton of deviant monsters. Everything pretty much. If it's a flying wyvern, always has the same skeleton, just with a different set of attacks. If it's an elder dragon, the majority of them use the same skeleton setup. It's fine. A couple of things that aren't really that fine in Dauntless are the controls. Okay, the controls are fine. It's just there are certain things that feel really clunky with it that Monster Hunter does really well. But Monster Hunter has had 15 years worth of time to perfect that scenario. First point of contention, which is, it's not even a point of contention. I don't mean to make it sound that mean or that harsh, but the draw attacks don't exist. In Monster Hunter, draw attacks, if you're running and you swing your weapon, you will pull it out immediately and swing the weapon in one fluid motion. I'm going to show you what it sounds like in Dauntless, or show you what it looks like in Dauntless. So I'm sprinting at the monster. My controller is right next to the microphone so I can show you exactly how long it takes. I've hit the button. There's the swing. There is a full second between when you pull out the weapon and when you swing, or when you hit the button, to when you are swinging the button, or swinging the weapon, that nothing happens. It's kind of annoying. And there's nothing I can do about that. But that is, I don't know if it's a big change that they could make. I don't know at all if that's a thing that could change post-launch. I feel like it could, but I don't know for certain. But I know I don't like this part of the fight with the Boreas. Basically, if you hit him about 4 times, he pulls out his ice armor and is completely immune to damage unless you kill his offspring. Which I think aren't actually his kids. I think they're more accurately just things that he's enslaved with his mind powers. But he does this a lot more than he should. And these little bastards are a lot harder to kill than I think they should be. I know I'm using an Earth Hammer to fight an Ice Monster. I should be using a Fire Hammer, but I'm using Earth anyways because I like it, and it pairs really well with this suit of armor that I'm wearing, which is also made out of the Boreas. Essentially, I've got a small upgrade I've got 2 upgrades called Iceborne and Rage. Iceborne allows me to take less damage if I drop below half health, and Rage lets me do more damage if I drop below half health, and it's pretty phenomenal. But just a random, well, not a random thought, going back to my grievances with Dauntless, the stamina regen is something that I'd like to see changed. It's kind of annoying how slow stamina regens in this game. At certain points in time, it feels like stamina is actively working against me. And I don't like it. But there's nothing I can do about it. Rather, I don't mean to say the stamina regen itself is slow, because I've got a few points of conditioning, I think it's called. I don't remember exactly. It just lets me regen stamina faster. That's all it does. I just wish, what I mean when stamina is slow to regen, it takes a long time for it to start regenning. In Monster Hunter, I know I keep bringing it up, but in Monster Hunter, if you use stamina in any capacity, as soon as you stop using it, it starts regenning within half a second at the very most. So, Dauntless, on the other hand, does not have that. Dauntless has it so that there's a 1 second delay between when you stop using stamina to when you start getting your stamina back, which is more realistic, but I'm not playing this game for realism. I'm playing it to beat the snot out of giant monsters. I just kind of wish that my stamina would regen faster than it does. Or start regenning faster than it does, because it regens really quick. It's just, sometimes it doesn't regen as fast as or it doesn't start regenning as fast as I'd like it to. I also don't like the Boreas. Specifically because of his ice shield. It's not fun to deal with. It really isn't. But then again, I also get a shield for just hurting people. That's what my weapon allows me to do. I like the monster my hammer comes from. It's called the Skarn. It's basically just a lizard covered in rocks. The Skarn all the Skarn weaponry has a chance to give you a shield on every hit that stacks indefinitely every time you deal damage. It's pretty great. Woo! Oh wait, okay, fine, don't let me jump on you. Ow. But yeah, it's small nitpicks abound in Dauntless that are super easy fixes. It's not detracting from my overall experience with the game. It's just, hey, I kind of wish this changed, or hey, this isn't a whole lot of fun. The last thing that I'd like to see changed is there are certain monsters that you can fight that have attacks that you can interrupt, but the game is kind of slow and clunky, and the attacks that you would use to interrupt those monsters take a while. For my hammer, for instance, there are certain monsters that charge directly at you, and while they're charging at you, you can interrupt them. My hammer I have to use a shotgun shell, basically, to charge the hammer, or to interrupt the monsters, and the delay on it takes about that long. I don't know if the sound actually came through on the mic, but the shot takes a while to trigger. He has to get into a little stance and then actually pull the trigger, and then the shot will fire off, but it takes a bit of time for that to happen. And I don't appreciate it. Oh, I did leave. Okay. Yep, he's out. I've also noticed that or at least I think this is a thing that happens. Whatever direction the monster runs... Excuse me. Whatever direction the monster runs off in is usually the direction that they'll end up. So that guy just kind of... The Boreas just kind of left straight ahead of us, so I ran off in this direction and we found him. So yeah. My theory has some credence to it. I'm pretty sure that's... Or, not credence, has some, meat to it. That's the word I'm looking for. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's, by design. Oh, cool, we lit him on fire. I'm gonna hit him with a big hammer. Oh, god damn it. I was so close to doing a ton of damage, and he just said nope. I really wish they'd I want them to redesign how exactly the Boreas gets its shield, or how exactly you do damage to the Boreas' shield, because this is annoying. Having to stop fighting the monster to fight a bunch of smaller things while it has free reign to run you over is not a whole lot of fun. I don't know if anybody's figured that out yet or not, but I think that might be why people don't like fighting the Boreas. I mean, it's why I don't like Fight of the Boreas. I do like him. He's an interesting monster, but I don't like the fact that I can't just slug it out with them in a grudge match, basically. But what am I going to do outside of complain about it? That is the answer. The answer is complain. That's all I'm going to do. Because it's all I'm really good at. That's not true. I'm good at a lot of things, but complaining is definitely my favorite thing to do. Because it requires very little effort. It's just, hey, thing bothers me. Let world know thing bothers me. And call it a day. I wouldn't say profit, but pretty much profit. But now I can go back to slugging him in the face. One thing I don't like about hammers, though, in this game, compared to Monster Hunter, even though these weapons, these hammers, have shotguns built into them, I can't break tusks for some reason. Or horns, I think. I'm pretty sure I'm not the one who broke this guy's horns off, even though I felt like I was the only one hitting his horns. I wasn't paying attention. I don't really pay attention to what my allies do. I just kind of pay attention to what the monster's doing and what I should be doing. Which more often than not is... God damn it. More often than not, what I'm doing is hitting the monster. Excuse me. Woo. I like these little dudes, though. I like these little balls, but I don't like the fact that I can't hurt the Boreas while they're out. I mean, he's constantly calling them. And I know that you can kind of ricochet the little dudes. Hey, I got a psionic scale. Sweet. You can ricochet these little dudes into him if you time it right, and you can set off a chain reaction with them. But setting that reaction off is kind of difficult, because they're just annoying little bastards. End of thought, really. They're just annoying and I don't like them. I also don't like how if one of them explodes, it kills all of them, and they all explode, and you don't get any, I guess I'm going to call them ice cores out of it? You don't get any ice cores to hurt the Boreas with. And it sucks. Ha! What do you mean that didn't kill the little dude? There we go. Except he exploded in the wrong direction, so that's nice. Come on, lose the ice shield. Ah! Dang it, he didn't lose it. And this is why nobody likes the Boreas. You hit him for about 40 seconds, and then he pulls out an ice shield, and you gotta waste 5 minutes breaking it by killing the little monsters that show up. Boop. Oh, there we go. Broke his ice shield. Sweet. But everything else about this game feels phenomenal. It's just the Boreas and a couple minor nitpicks stop it from being infinitely better than Monster Hunter. And I say infinitely, I just mean better than Monster Hunter. Which, I don't want to say is something I'm looking forward to, because that's not what I mean. I wish there was more games in the same genre as Monster Hunter. Because I thoroughly enjoy them, and I'd like to share them with more people. It's just they have a very high bar of entry, I think is the word I'm looking for. They're pretty difficult. All things considered, they're pretty difficult games, and they're not for everybody. Wow, I didn't do well at all that round. Okay. They're not for everybody, I understand that, but ultimately, I thoroughly enjoy them. But I am going to go. For those of you who are new, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. But if not, then carry on your merry way. But for the rest of you ramblers, I will catch you all next week, where we will probably still be playing Dauntless. Unless Heroes of the Storm gets a significant update in that it becomes fun to play again. But yeah, I'm going to go. Hope you all enjoy this, and I will see you all next week. I hope you enjoy your weekend, and I'm out. Bye, everybody. It's been a ton of fun.